The Little Barley Seed and the Kind Farmer, based on a German folktale. Let's listen. Once upon a time, in a peaceful countryside, there lived an old farmer named Peter. He lived alone in a small wooden cottage, surrounded by wide open fields and rows of trees swaying in the breeze. Every morning, he woke up very early, put on his old straw hat, carried a bucket of water, and walked out to visit his plants, talking to them as if they were his friends. One day, while digging the soil to plant spring vegetables, he suddenly saw a tiny barley seed lying all alone on the ground. It was so small, only the size of his pinky fingertip and covered in dust. He picked it up, gently blew the dust away, and smiled. "Oh, little seed, where did you come from? All alone out here in the cold soil. You must feel so lonely." Then he dug a tiny hole, placed the seed in the soft earth, carefully covered it with soil, and poured a little cool water over it. From that day on, every morning and evening, Farmer Peter would visit the spot where he had planted the barley seed. He whispered softly, "Good morning, little one. Are you feeling well today? It's chilly this morning. Let me lay some straw to keep you warm. Tomorrow will be sunny. You'll see the sun smiling just for you." Then one early morning, while the dewdrops still clung to the leaves, he saw a tiny green sprout poking out of the soil. So small, so fragile, yet full of life. He clapped his hands and laughed with joy. "You've woken up. Oh, what a good little one you are." The little plant grew day by day. When the wind blew hard, he placed a bamboo stick beside it to keep it upright. When the sun was too strong, he shaded it with his straw hat. And when little sparrows came pecking at the leaves, he gently waved them away. "Shoo, little birds, don't bother my sprout. She's still very young." As the weeks passed and summer arrived, the barley plant grew as tall as his waist, swaying in the sunshine. Golden heads of grain began to appear, glowing under the sunlight. One night, Farmer Peter dreamed of the barley plant. It gently bowed its head and whispered, "Thank you, dear farmer. Because you loved me, I grew strong. I will give you my finest golden grains." When harvest time came, he gathered the barley, threshed it, milled it, and baked a warm loaf of fragrant bread. But he didn't keep it all for himself. He cut the loaf into small slices, wrapped them gently, and walked to share them with the blacksmith, the seamstress, and the orphan children at the end of the village. That evening, he sat quietly at his doorstep, watching the sunset behind the golden fields. The last barley stalk in the corner of the garden swayed gently, as if waving goodbye, and whispered, "Thank you, kind farmer. Because of your goodness, I became something wonderful for everyone." A little lesson for children. Even the smallest one can become something amazing if cared for with love. And when someone helps us, we should always be grateful and share that goodness with others. Grandpa's wooden bowl, based on a European folktale. Let's listen. In a quiet little village, there lived a girl named Anna with her father, mother, and her elderly grandfather. Long ago, Grandpa used to be a baker. He was famous for shaping round, fluffy loaves of bread and sweet honey buns. But now, he was very old. His hands trembled, his eyes were dim, and his teeth were weak. So eating became very slow and difficult for him. At every meal, Grandpa would accidentally spill his porridge on the table. One day, He dropped his porcelain bowl and it shattered on the floor. Anna's mother sighed and said with frustration, "Grandpa broke another bowl. From now on, he'll have to eat in the corner." So Anna's father bought a wooden bowl for Grandpa, one that wouldn't break so easily. From that day on, Grandpa no longer sat at the table. He ate quietly by himself in the kitchen corner, sitting on an old wooden chair. His hands still shook, but he tried his best to lift each spoonful carefully. Anna felt very sad. Every time she saw Grandpa eating alone, she looked down at her plate, then looked toward the corner, where Grandpa sat silently chewing his dry bread. One afternoon, Anna's parents found her sitting in the backyard, sawing little pieces of wood. Her mother asked gently, "What are you making, Anna?" Anna looked up and smiled softly. "I'm making a wooden bowl for you and Daddy, so when you get old and your hands shake like Grandpa's, I'll give you this bowl to eat from." Her parents froze. The whole room seemed to fall silent. Mother looked at Father. Father looked at Mother. Then both of them wrapped Anna in a warm hug, tears glistening in their eyes. From the next day on, Grandpa returned to sit at the family table. Mother gently wiped his mouth with a soft cloth. Father served him tender food, easy to chew. And Anna? She told funny little stories to make Grandpa laugh at every meal. That evening, Grandpa smiled wider than he had in many days. His eyes looked brighter and warmer, and for the first time in a long while he finished his whole bowl of porridge without spilling a single drop. A little lesson for children: when someone grows old, they need even more love and kindness. Those who once cared for us, we should care for them with all our heart. The Grateful Little Goldfish, based on a Russian folktale. Let's listen. Once upon a time, in a quiet fishing village by the sea, there lived an old man and his wife in a small, weathered wooden cottage. Every day, the old man would row his boat out into the calm blue sea, casting his net with hope, just wishing to catch a few small fish to eat or trade for rice. One sunny morning, the sea was as gentle as a soft silk blanket. The old man set out as usual, threw out his net, and waited. When he pulled it in, there were no big fish, only a tiny golden fish, squirming in the net. Her scales sparkled like sunshine, and her round, shiny eyes looked up at the old man not with fear, but with kindness. And then, something magical happened. The fish spoke in a small, gentle voice, like a breeze over the waves. "Dear sir, please let me return to the sea. I am a magical goldfish. If you set me free, I will never forget your kindness." The old man was surprised, but he smiled kindly. "I don't need anything, little one. You are small, and the sea is your home. Go back to your mother ocean." And so, he gently untangled her from the net, placed her back in the water, and watched her swim away, vanishing into the golden ripples of the sea. That evening, he told his wife the story, but she frowned and scolded. "You fool! A talking goldfish and you didn't ask for anything? We are poor, our roof leaks, and our pot is cracked. You could have asked for a new wash basin." Feeling a bit ashamed, the old man quietly returned to the sea and called for the goldfish. She appeared right away, her eyes still gentle. "I heard what your wife said," she said kindly. "Go home. A new basin will be waiting." And indeed, when he returned, there was a brand new shiny basin sitting neatly in the house. His wife was delighted, but not for long. "Ask the fish for a brick house. I'm tired of this leaky roof. So back to the sea he went. And again, the goldfish kindly granted the wish. And soon, from the wash basin came a house, then new clothes, then servants. But the more his wife had, the more she wanted. She was never satisfied. At last, she demanded angrily, "Tell the goldfish to make me queen of the ocean. She must serve me forever." The old man sadly returned to the sea. This time, the waves grew choppy. Dark clouds rolled in. The goldfish appeared again, but her eyes were no longer bright. They looked tired and sad. She said nothing, and quietly dove deep into the sea. The old man returned home. There was no palace, no gowns, no servants, just the same old wooden cottage, a cracked basin on its side, and his wife sitting silently at the door lost for words. That night, the old man went to the sea one last time, not to ask for anything, just to stand still and listen to the waves. From far away, the goldfish swam back, her body glowing in the moonlight. She whispered softly, "I am not angry. I still remember your first kindness." But when someone forgets to be thankful, the magic slips away. Then she swam off into the deep blue sea, leaving only soft ripples behind like a quiet reminder. A little lesson for children. Gratitude is a precious gift. When someone helps us, we should treasure it, not demand more. Gratitude keeps our hearts warm, but greed can take away all the beautiful things we've been given.